Start streaming. Start recording. All right, are we ready to learn how to write in screenplay format? Woo! Thank you, everyone. This is the basic anatomy of a screenplay, and this is what we're going to spend a lot of our workshop going over. Because this is basically all there is to screenplay formats. So we have our scene heading. It's int, which is interior, or x, which is exterior. You can see that there. And then you say where you are, hyphen, day or night, or something else if you're getting creative. Actually, before we go, what is your background in screenwriting, since it's just two of you?
One dog shit screenwriting.
One dog shit screenwriting.
This is what I wrote for our game. It's screenplay format, but it's...
Oh, no, it is not yet. But hold on, because
That's just a format change.
slide 2 is going to absolve you of your sins. So, you have the scene heading. You have the action. Now, within the action, there are a couple important things to talk about with regards to capitalization. God, I hope this microphone is picking me up. Here we go. So, action. When a character first appears, capitalize their name. This is going to indicate to whoever is reading your screenplay, hey, Dan and Jack are important. They are in this scene. Please pay attention to them. After that, they don't have to you don't have to capitalize them because your reader already knows they're there because they've been introduced. This is similar to important objects. It's the same thought of look, here is an important prop. I am going to put it in caps so that you notice it. Please notice it. And then afterwards, people know that the important prop is in your scene, and you don't have to capitalize it anymore. And then we've got character, a parenthetical. We'll get more on parentheticals, not so much like how to use them, because it's basically just that. It's character, enter, parenthetical on how the character's saying it, any special thing about what they're saying, etc. And then the actual dialogue is there. That's pretty standard. And then we've got transitions and stuff. There's cut to, fade in, fade out, stuff like that. There's a couple of standard ones, but not a lot, and you can look them up. But that's bare bones basics of what screenplay format is. Most of what you do will be remixing this format to some extent in some way or another. Now, does that all make sense? Okay. Generally, the points where this stops making sense are when you're writing a screenplay and you're like, hey, I've got an edge case. And in that case, you go to Google. Or, if you are here, you might go to me. Because I know things about this, kind of. I was forced to take 2 screenwriting classes.
Why?
Because I went to an art school, and they wanted me well-versed in multiple forms of writing.
Alright.
No, OSHA. It's a high school nearby. So, some differences. In film, there's very little collaboration with other departments. You, the scriptwriter, write a script in the isolation of your own home. Then you query it to a bunch of different houses, and they're like, no, this sucks. No, no, no. But then one says, yes. And then, generally, if you've written something and the director doesn't like it, then the director tosses it out, does his own thing. Scriptwriters are not very well respected. Depressing reality of the industry. It is bad form in scriptwriting for film to describe too much, if you say, Dan says this melodramatically, that's infringing on the actor. Then the actor is like, but I wanted Dan to say this casually. Exactly. And the director also feels a little bit put out because now you're telling him how to direct his actors. And it's a whole thing. People get touchy. Strict on formatting. I have heard horror stories of when you submit your script to a film house, if the format is not perfect, they throw it out without even reading it. Because they hate us.
Yes.
They want you to die. Games. In our club specifically, because I cannot speak authoritatively about the entire games industry, film is older. It's a lot more standardized. There's a lot more like accumulated knowledge that is more easily accessible. But games, especially game writing, it varies from studio to studio. But in our club, which is the most relevant to us right now, please communicate. There's so much collaboration, and sometimes you and the designer might be the same thing. You and the programmer might be the same thing. Your designer's choices, if they are not you, directly impact what you write and vice versa. Your programmer's abilities and choices directly impact what you can write. You need to talk to your teammates all the time, always. Please talk to each other. Also, the bad form to describe things. You are not working with actors. You are working with a team lead who is on your team, and you should be talking with them anyways. And you are working with Art Strike. As someone who has been in Art Strike, we're not on your team. We're not in your discords. We have not seen what you guys have planned. Please be specific. So the don't describe things, throw it out the window. Just throw it out. Your designers need to know what's happening, because if you contradict them in your writing, they need to know and you guys need to talk. The art strikers, please, they need to know what you're talking about. If you just say, yeah, you know, draw a character. Draw Amy for me. They'll be like, who's Amy? What does Amy look like? Tell me about Amy. Because they haven't been there for the whole context of it.
Or any context.
Or any context at all. They don't know Amy from the other hundreds of art assets that people are asking them to draw for other games. So, that's the difference. Discuss format with your programmers. So, this is what's absolving you. Some programmers need you to do it in a certain format. I know on Hotel Red, Duncan has made his very own, like, text input system with special text effects that only work in his system that he made. So when I write dialogue for that, I have to format it like that in the way that Duncan has asked me. If I go doing like proper screenplay format, it's just going to be more work for everyone. Some people want your dialogue in spreadsheets.
That's pretty common.
Yeah, exactly. So screenplay formatting is very much kind of a extra skill when we're working in our club, because look, I doubt the designers know what proper screenplay formatting is. I doubt the programmers know.
They don't.
I doubt they care.
They don't.
Exactly. They don't know, they don't care. We can assume this. So the more important thing, more important than, you know, following this perfectly, is to talk to your programmers and understand what they need, how to input the dialogue in your system. So your screenplay that you were writing, it's not proper format at all. But if your programmers are good with it and they can work around it and it's convenient for them, you are doing so well. So that's the differences. Programs. There are so many because the film industry is huge and everyone and their mother is like, I would love to write a feature film. I would love to live this romanticized life of the starving artist. So we have Google Docs extension. You can find it on the Google Chrome store. Riley likes it, and he recommended it to me. But when I tried it, I am a stupid idiot, and I couldn't figure out how to work it. So
I'm not a stupid idiot. It's weird. It's really weird.
Okay.
I hard-coded it. Like, I hard-coded the indentations, and it sucked.
Okay, so
I
we
wrote
can all
15
agree.
pages like that.
Riley is some sort of strange god who understands things that we don't, but for us mere mortals, we don't get it. Okay, next one, writer duet. My friend who is a film major, who writes screenplays for 90% of her classes, recommended this to me. So, I'm trusting it. I checked it out. It has a free version and a paid version. The free version works fine. It's user-friendly. It only lets you do 3 projects, but if you just,
Delete your old ones.
delete your old ones, yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine. Scrivener. You do have to pay for Scrivener, but doubles as a regular word processor. Very good for novel writing, I've heard, but I'm poor, so I haven't tried it myself. And during NaNoWriMo season, which is coming up in a few weeks, there's
National Novel Writing Month.
National Novel Writing Month.
Oh, I was like, okay, narrative, novel, writing, motion picture.
No, okay. NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month.
November.
But also April and July now. There's 3. And
Out of the year.
yeah,
Why are they not even sequential?
you know what, Dane?
Then they could have not called it National Novel Writing Quarter.
But the point is that you're supposed to do it in a month, and so if they were all sequential, then people wouldn't do it in a month. They would do it in multiple months.
That's
Yeah.
true, that's true.
I mean, I cheat and do that anyways, where I'll start it 1 month and then just be like, okay, I'm done. Next month. But aside from the point, Scrivener, at least during the November one, and I think during the July one, I don't know about April, there's a free trial for all of NaNoWriMo because they want you to get hooked. And then, at the end, they give you a discount because they're like, wow, you've downloaded our free trial. Don't you love our product? Give us money, but less money than normal. So, if you want a cheap deal, next month, Scrivener. Celtics. I used this when I was in my fancy art high school because, although it is paid, back in the day, if you downloaded the free trial, they just forgot to ever take it away from you. However, I don't know if that's still the case. So,
If they do that as a business strategy, they won't. If they do it as a legitimate programming glitch, they might have fixed it.
yeah, yes?
I'm looking at Scrivener right now, and fun fact, it's cheaper for Windows than it is for Mac.
Interesting.
Windows bias.
Screw Mac, I guess.
Yeah.
Windows said Mac sucks. And
Scrivener
then,
said Mac sucks.
sorry. Whoa. Scrivener said
I mean, Windows also probably did say Mac sucks. They literally hired a guy named MacBook to diss the MacBook. They did.
amazing.
There's a Windows tablet commercial that uses a guy named Michael Book that goes by Mac.
I love that so much. Okay, next 2. Fade In and Final Draft. I do not have any personal experience with either of these. The only thing I really know is that they are a screenwriting format, like software. You do have to pay for them both, and I've heard that Final Draft is way overpriced for what it does. And you can take that to the bank, but on your own peril, because that's not my personal opinion. I don't know anything about it. So those are the programs. Now, the activity. If you would like to do it, just start writing a scene, because like I said, you're not going to figure out like what you don't know until you run into it and they're like, oh god, what do I do here? So if you start writing a scene now, then you can raise your hand when you run into one of those issues and you can be like, Megan, I don't understand how to do this. And with any luck, I will be like, I do understand how to do this. And if we're not lucky, then we go to Google and we say, Google, how do you do this? Or, we're really, really unlucky, I text my friend in film school and ask her, please tell me,
Please help.
please help. What do I do? Have some ideas if you're feeling stuck. But I realized that actually it would be more helpful to show the other one that shows you screenplay format. So,
Are we going back to Black Red the Pirate?
if you would like to go back to Black Red the Pirate, I do have
The story of Black Red.
a pirates option.
I love that the prompt is just anything about pirates.
I want some freedom, you know? I feel like that's
In the intervening time, have
Thematically
any of us seen
appropriate.
Waterworld?
no.
No. Okay.
Mine.
Brandon, for an
Context.
explanation, at the end of spring quarter, we did a workshop about like character and dialogue and things like that, where we basically did like an improvised scene kind of D&D style that took place in this pirate world that we had created the week before.
And I pointed out that all pirates have a name that
You were
includes
there.
black or red.
So
I
we
was
had Black Red the
riding on
Pirate
someone?
captain.
Yeah,
My feet were broken.
he was there.
Oh, I forgot about
And-
that.
And Mayan was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
And yeah, the leader of
Weren't
the
you like a
pirate
really
gang
old man that thought it that was
was
trying to
a pirate
convince everyone
named Black Red.
No, you were the old man. That
He was
tries
the
to
embodiment of the hello fellows.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a good time.
Okay.
I'm really interested with D&D with the writers is like
Interesting.
It's fun, and we're all a very good and cool crowd.